to the Sniper Club library. Hey, let's talk about the SUI ecosystem. This is coming out of the 100x labs at the Sniper Club. Today we want to talk about SUI and the SUI ecosystem. I think SUI has been the star child so far for this cycle. You know, in the previous cycles we talked about what would be the ETH killer. But in this cycle, we're hearing what is going to be the Solana killer. And perhaps the number one competitor we're seeing today for Solana is SUI. So let's dive into the ecosystem and some of the opportunities that may present themselves within the SUI ecosystem. Remember, of course, this is not financial advice. You should always do your own research. And remember, with crypto, especially with crypto, perhaps you should not invest more than you're willing to lose. So let's ask the question, is SUI the Solana killer this cycle? The answer is definitely no. Doing a deep dive on SUI and Solana, it's very clear that in every category, Solana is better. Solana is outperforming SUI, but that doesn't mean that the best technology wins, because SUI certainly has been performing really, really well. There is one category that we can say that SUI right now is performing better than Solana. That's time to finality. And SUI is leading there, but in every other category, number of developers, TVL, TPS, tokenomics, hey, Solana is the star child. But in this cycle, it seems like it's Solana and SUI, the two L1s that are leading right now. And so SUI is definitely a great project to buy. I think how can SUI perform? How many X's we can see from SUI? Listen, I'm not so much into the Cowboy X kind of thing, but I think SUI has a good way to run still this cycle. SUI is a star child for this cycle, but you must bear in mind that there are about 33% emissions coming in the next 12 months. And so as much as I'm bullish about SUI, I think if you've missed the boat, I think it's run quite a bit. I'm not saying that it can run a lot more, but I'm looking deeper within the SUI ecosystem. I think the SUI ecosystem is going to have a lot to offer. And that's where I think the gold can be found. I think the gold can be found within the SUI ecosystem. SUI has run quite a lot. It's really performed well. There are some emissions, 33% emissions over the next year. But Solana, of course, I think when I look at Solana, I think Solana is the star child. Solana with Fire Dancer coming out soon. We saw Fire Dancer in the last conference, in Breakpoint conference. We saw Fire Dancer live on the mainnet. SUI does have a competitor to Fire Dancer that perhaps could push it to 1 million transactions, right, per second. Crazy results. But it's only a theory. It's called Pilot Fish. And so take a look about that. Take a look at that. So clearly, SUI is a serious contender, but it's not going to be a Solana killer this cycle, right? I'm looking at SUI to really pick up SUI in the bear market when everything has gone to crap city. SUI is one of the tokens. So you note it, write it down somewhere. SUI is one of the tokens that we want to pick up in the bear market. And you can pick it up now and you're going to get some gains from it. But I think the gains are in the ecosystem. SUI, of course, the move narrative, a blockchain agnostic language that has security inherent in it. I think that the move narrative is something that we must consider. It's having a significant impact on the industry. One of the things that really impresses me about SUI is going to be the games. They have a you're familiar with Nintendo has their game device. Well, SUI has its own device, right? And they're really exploring the gaming space, which I think retail really understands. And so you're talking about design and portability, seamless Steam integration, and you have rewards linked to it. So we got to respect that. The thing that really stands out for me the most on SUI is zkLogin. I think that is big. The ability to log into your wallet using social platforms that we all know well, like Google and Facebook and Twitch and Microsoft. That's been the big challenge in the crypto space. How do we onboard retail? And so this, I don't hear a lot of people speaking about this. I don't hear a lot of YouTubers talk about it. But when I looked at SUI and deep dive SUI, this to me was the standout aspect of SUI. Instant onboarding for your app. Massive, huge. And this, I think, could be one of the things that really makes SUI a game changer. As we move on to SUI, let's take a look at the SUI ecosystem. And SUI just announced more than $1 billion TVL. Congratulations to the SUI chain. But where's this TVL actually stored? In protocols like Navi and Cetus and SUI Lend and Scallop. Listen, Scallop has been doing, record success. Aftermath, SuiPad, Turbos Finance. So all of these are projects that you can look at. Cetus here, we see it as a DEX, and it's been performing really, really well. I perhaps like Turbos Finance more. It seems a little creative, and we've seen a lot of volume on Turbos, but both of them are really good players, Cetus and Turbos. Scallop, Scallop is doing some great numbers. They announced that they had more than 100 million loans. So it's a lending platform. Some of us are familiar with lending platforms. Scallop announced 100 million in loans. That's huge, right? So Scallop is one project to look at. Navi, also another project that does lending, and you can lend and borrow. So we are familiar with this, and this has come to the SUI ecosystem. I like Aftermath also. Aftermath, it's an aggregator. So if you're familiar with 1inch, Aftermath could be like a 1inch type play on the SUI ecosystem. And that's one of the things we all should look at. Perhaps you've missed the run up from SUI, but we always look at the DEX, the Launchpad, and the memes. So when we go deep into the ecosystem, perhaps we see the DEX, the Launchpad, and the memes outperform the main token, SUI. So when I look deeper, I can see SuiPad is coming out, and there's some other tokens that we're going to talk about. So when I look at SUI, I don't know how Launchpads have been performing this cycle. The whole meme fair launch, I think people are sort of turned off with all of these high FDV launches. And so we're going to see how Launchpads like CDFI and ChainGPT, and now we have SuiPad, how they'll perform. I think they'll have their day in the sun, perhaps in the height of the bull market. One of the places I go to check SUI is SuiVision. It's a great place to get a good overview of what's happening within the SUI chain. And we can see here the TPS, the market cap, the circulating supply, total number of accounts, 23.85 million. We can see the percentage. And this is where you can see Solana really takes the lead with tokenomics, because the SUI tokenomics is not the best, and the emissions are also not the best. And so that comes into my thinking when I forecast how many X's SUI can produce this cycle, and why I'm looking deeper within the ecosystem. And we could see here which projects have the most accounts. And those of y'all who are familiar with Tether, last cycle, we are seeing now Record. And Record is a video platform for SUI. And it's generating users. It has accounts. And so take a note of that. There are also some other ones like Blue Move Dev, Turbos Finance, another aggregator. So take a look at some of the projects on the SUI chain. SuiVision is a great place to do that. We're trying to cover as much as possible in this video. In a short time. So let's move on and let's talk about memes now. Hey, there's no doubt that memes, how many times people have said that memes are dead? And they've all been wrong. The best influencers in the world, they've all been wrong. Listen, they've tried their best to kill memes, actually, but they've failed. And in fact, in September, the top performing narratives in September, number one was AI, and number two was memes. And so we got to look at SUI memes and see what SUI memes are doing well. And so we can see that in CoinMarketCap, the total market cap for all the SUI memes is only 228 million. So this is really early days for the SUI chain. And look at some of the top performing memes. Well, look, Sudan Reach, the hippo, right? And that's wow. Look at that chart. Blub is a really good one. FUD. So you can take a look at it. AAA cat, AAA cat. You're familiar with Shiba. What about Suiba? And Sutad. I love Sushi Cat. So when I take a look at some of the different memes here, sushi cat, I really get it. I like to play on sui, sushi, and I get it. And that's what memes are. They say perhaps the lower your IQ, the better you do with memes. And so perhaps some of us really have to drop our IQ. I don't know if some of us have to raise it too. So sui cat, I like it. I like it. You know, I like it. And Blub, a dirty fish in the waters of the Sui Ocean, playing on the whole water narrative. I think with Sui, I think that looks really good. I really like that. My favorite is FUD. FUD, I just find it's cool. I love it. FUD, it's crypto savvy, right? And so FUD for me is one of the memes I really like on the Sui chain. We have Sutad, and those of us who really like gamified tokenomics, you can take a look at that. We have Scuba, again, playing on the water narrative with Sui. You can take a look at that also. This one seems a little, how do you say it? A little cliched, Suiba, but Shiba has done well. So maybe this cycle we could see Suiba, right? No one knows what it's really going to do, what is going to perform the best. But out of all of them, what is this birds token? And I really have to research birds more, but I really, really like what I'm seeing. You know, I really have to, I don't think their tokens out as yet, and they seem to be working closely with Telegram. I've not really researched this, but I really like this, right? So I'm going to have to deep dive this a little bit, and it just gives you that kind of Angry Birds type feel, and it just, you know, it just feels right. And so I'm going to look, and the volume has been crazy, right? The on-chain accounts and stuff like that. First milestone on the Sui network. So I don't think this token's out as yet. So I really don't have a clue what's going on with birds and how you can get a token or when the token is coming out or how could they have so many on-chain accounts and what's the role of Telegram in all of this. And so I'm going to have to research this, but I love it. I love birds. I think I'm late to the game with this. I love birds. And so take a look at it. And you can find some more meme projects within Sui. This is what we're looking for. This is really coming out of the 100x Labs project at the Sniper Club. Perhaps you've not considered joining the Sniper Club or really finding a crew that you can hang out with for the bull run. I think the Sniper Club is really one of the best places you can be in the bull run. And we've recently launched our 100x Labs. That's really to find opportunities within memes, Degen plays, new launches, new ecosystems. I think it's going to be one of the places that really you can see wealth creation. So if you can see a link in the description if you're interested in joining the Sniper Club. I want to encourage you to like and share this video. If you find content like this is useful, hey, we want to bring this type of content to you where we're exploring new ecosystems where a lot of the opportunities may lie. Hey, wishing you the best from the Sniper Club as always. And don't forget to trade well, my friends.